Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you for joining me once again for one of these Magic Gathering box openings, and I guess it's kind of a special treat. Big thing to think of is within the dozen or so years that I've been playing Magic, maybe a little bit more, my favorite format has by far been Commander. It's just really fun being able to play it at the different levels there, and so I'm always excited when they've got the new Commander decks that come out, but after we had Final Fantasy and Edge of Eternities, well, Spider-Man didn't have any, and Avatar didn't have any. Now I'm hopeful that with Lorwyn coming back that we will be getting Commander decks for those. Very, very hopeful, because I just really like... Lorwyn is one of my favorite planes. I technically wasn't playing during any of the Lorwyn stuff, but I like the hybrid mana that comes with them. I like the kind of old English fairy tale style that has it with them there. You know, a bit different than the grim fairy tale that Eldraine has, which I still really like Eldraine as well. I think that they're very, very good thematically Magic sets there, just because they draw upon that so much. I mean, there might not be completely original, though. I mean, a lot of Magic the Gathering sets are based off of something. But there might not be a Commander product. But there's this Commander's bundle, which is, I think, sort of similar to a like gift bundle almost, but slightly different in what it includes. I think that it has some great artwork here going around, but on the back here, what we do see is that we are going to get 9 play boosters. I believe that we get 1 collector booster, if I remember. Yep, 1 collector booster as well. There are 10 special framed Avatar the Last Airbender booster cards there that we could get a number from, including the 5 free spells that came from Commander 2020, and I believe some tutors. I believe those are the 10, like a tutor for each color, and then the 5 free ones there, like Deadly Rollick, Fierce Guardianship, Deflecting Swat, Obscuring Haze, and Flawless Maneuver, I think is the white one there. And then it looks like we also will, included within this, get a special art for Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Swiftfoot Boots. We'll get a special Click Wheel Spin Down die. We'll get 5 foil and non-foil full arts of the Avatar's Journey lands, which I believe are the ones that have the Appa in it, as well as the box that all of this will come in, which, you know, this is just the exterior there. And yep, that's where it says collector booster there, and it's going to come with additionally 10 foil and non-foil basic lands there, so probably the arts for the non-full arts there. So, you know, I'm interested in getting in to see what we will have for this and just being able to look at it, because as we can see, yep, it's just that there. And we're going to get a little bit of artwork of Boomerang Basics and a little bit of Katara on here, which I know that this Boomerang Basics has been doing very, very well in play. So maybe we'll get a little bit more, but just kind of like on the cover, we've got the Appa and then Team Avatar there. Looks like we've got a little bit of Momo and then just some sightings there, but you know, it's a fun little bundle box. And within, we are going to have our spin down. We're going to have our lands. We're going to have our special cards here. And we're going to have all of our packs. Yep, there we go. And then have those. Okay, so spin down. Now this is made out of plastic, so it doesn't feel quite as weighty as the kind of one that I'm really, really looking for, which is the Phyrexian one. I think that the Phyrexian one might be made out of metal and kind of have a bit more weight to it, but I do like the clicking of this and kind of how it kind of sticks. It's not just like a spinning. It has distinctive like gears within this to be able to direct everything there. So good to get one of these. It's, you know, it's always nice getting other spin downs there. I'm not going to open up the lands because it's like we had talked about there. It's going to be these ones here with all of the appas on it there, with potentially Lion Turtle being the last one there. I can't remember if there was a forest one with an appa on it specifically, but we should be getting some of the other lands there. Like I said, though, don't really need to see much in there. We're going to save this and this for last. You know, do this and then this one here just to see what we might be able to grab from it there. So those off to the side, and we're going to start off with our regular packs here, seeing what we might be able to get within them. Now, these do have pull tabs, but I like to be able to put the uncommons back in the pack, so I don't often use them. But let's see here. Okay, so we are going to have the rares are going to be up front here. So starting off with a little mongoose lizard, a little bit of badger mole, earth rumble warriors, not warriors, wrestlers, a lot of ones that we've gotten before. Lightning strike there with Azula, very nice. A little bit of path to redemption with Iroh on both sides. First time flyer with a little bit of Japanese artwork there of a hang glider. Pirate Peddlers. I honestly don't remember the episode that had these pirates on them. I know that there's the card with Dockside Extortionist, and this Parrot is another card as well, but I don't remember it. But again, it's been almost probably 2 decades since I've watched Avatar. Tolls of War with, let's see here. I was like, I initially thought like Guru Lakshmi or something from that, the villain of book 3 of Korra. I can't quite remember the Guru Lahima or something like that. And I can't remember the name of the bad guy, but who would always talk about that. But no, that's Monkey Atso. And we're also going to have Zuko, Exiled Prince, you know, standard one there with the, you get the 3 firebending, and then you can use it to exile top card of your library to play this turn. And also a little bit of invasion tactics. Yep, we had seen that one before. Things get +2/+2 when it ETBs. 1 or more allies you control deal combat damage, you draw a card. Waterbending Scroll, okay. 1 and a blue for an artifact. 6 and tap, draw a card. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each island you control. So there's an opportunity if you have a lot of islands that when you play this out, you could pay 0 and just be tapping this to draw a card. Okay, I think that kind of makes sense. The more islands that you get out, kind of the more experienced you get, and so the easier it is to like read and understand the scroll. We're also going to get a little bit of Secret of Bloodbending. Okay, I don't think that we got this one last time, but this is going to be a mythic for us. 4 blue, quadruple blue. I do think it's kind of, I believe if I remember correctly, this is one of the least expensive mythics, but at least we're adding it to the collection. So quadruple blue for a sorcery lesson with, as an additional cost to cast a spell, you may waterbend 10. You control target opponent during their next combat phase. If the spell's additional cost was paid, you control that player during their next turn instead. You see all cards that player could see and make all decisions for them. Exile Secret of Bloodbending. So you can choose how someone attacks during their next turn for the 4 blue, or you can pay that additional cost of the 10 to be able to you know, control them for the entire turn like a Mind Slaver. But it's very expensive there to be able to do that, so unsure if it would happen. We're also going to get a little bit of White Lotus hide out there just in the foil. Had gotten that one before. Spend the mana, 1 mana of any color to play Lessons or Shrines, and a land. Yep, and 1 land and our ally token. So that one is going to do it at the very least. I mean, we didn't get a Boomerang Basics or any of the other really good uncommons there, but we did get a new Mythic, which is always going to be good. Now, I'm not really expecting much from the packs, but, you know, if we get something, we get something. Another ally, this time an Earth ally, Earth Soldier ally. Aang's Journey there, being able to get some basic lands. Treetop Freedom Fighters with Jet's Crew there. Ostrich Horse, which is just a bird horse. A little bit of Barrels of Blasting Jelly. And Razor Rings, which we'd gotten before. Deal damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Gain life equal to excess. Giant Quarry for water bending and island cycling. Beetle-headed Merchant. Fire Navy Trebuchet, which creates the boulder. The boulder! Southern Air Temple. Okay, we haven't gotten this one, I don't think. 3 and a white for a legendary enchantment shrine. So more shrines, you know, into that sort of deck. When this ETBs, you put X 1/1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of shrines you control, and whenever another shrine you control ETBs, you put a +1/+1 on each creature you control. It sounds familiar. Maybe we did get this one, I'm not remembering, but if we didn't, that's still a good pickup for us. A little bit of Earth Rumble there with Toph in the not so, what would you call it there? With the not so controversial artwork, where it's just, you know, earthbending and then having one creature fight another one there. Accumulate Wisdom. Okay, this is one of the good ones there because, you know, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one into your hand, rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Put each of those cards into your hand instead if there are 3 or more lessons in your graveyard. So the potential of just making this a, you know, Ancestral Recall for 1 extra mana is pretty darn good if you've got a lesson deck. Aang at the Crossroads. So we did get this one already there. When ETBs the top 5 cards of your library, you may put a creature with mana value 4 or less from among them on the battlefield. The rest go on the bottom of your library. Another control. You control leaves. You flip it. Have all land creatures you control have vigilance in the beginning of combat, and you turn the Earthbend 2. Okay, so, I mean, you could put it in an Earthbending deck. You could put in other types of styles of decks there, but already got that one there. I think it's decent, so getting another one isn't too bad. Some Fire Sages, you know, a little bit of extra firebending there, but only firebending 1, even though there's a ton of them. And we got a little bit of Foggy Bottom Swamp, which I don't think that we had that one there. So a new sacrifice land. I'm not sure what you're going to call it there, but, you know, if you don't need any more, you can pay 4, tap it, and draw an extra card, you know, to replace it. And getting a little bit of food in this one here. Trying to determine what that is. It looks like maybe some sort of curry. Rumble Arena there. I think we had seen this one before. Maybe not, but it's a land that has vigilance, so it is one that you might want to earthbend there because it has that vigilance. And then when this ETBs, you also scry one. Does not come into play tapped. It does not have the land types there, so it's not something that you can use anything of that for. Taps for colorless or 1 and tap to add a mana of any color. How to start a riot with the Coal Ship. Raucous Audience in that Rumble Arena there. 1 and a green, 2/1, Human Citizen, add green. If you control a creature with 4 or greater power, you add 2 green instead. Okay. Avatar Enthusiasts there. The guy that was foaming at the mouth, that's really funny is. 2 and a white, 2/2 human peasant ally. Whenever another ally you control ETBs, put a +1/+1 in this creature. There he is! There he is! The avatar is on Kyoshi! Good old cat owl there. Another little cute one there. I wonder if it's really big because that's 3 power, 3 toughness. Corrupt Court Official there with that, you know, try to do the punishment for Kyoshi. Bender's Waterskin, you know, probably the best common that they have there, just because, you know, you've got an extra mana every single turn with that. Water Tribe Rallier. Okay. Azula on the Hunt, a little bit of Azula. Honest Work. 1 blue for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature an opponent controls. When the CTBs, tap enchanted creature and remove all counters from it. It loses all abilities and is a citizen with base power and toughness 1/1 and tap to add a colorless, and it's named Humble Merchant. Okay, you know, nifty little removal there, kind of similar to the it's the one from New Capenna that's like to hide identity there or something like that. Price of Freedom. 1 red for a sorcery less than destroy target artifact or land an opponent controls. They can search their library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle, and then draw a card there. So, you know, you can get rid of one of their good lands if you want to there to make them get a basic that's tapped. A little bit of Toph, Hard-Headed Teacher, which we already have. So, unfortunately, getting another copy of this, 2 a red and a green, 3/4, Human Warrior Ally, ETBs, you can discard a card. If you do, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand, and whenever you cast a spell, you earthbend 1, and if it's a lesson, you put an additional +1/+1 on that land. So, more earthbending there. A little bit of Tree Trap Feeding Fighters with Jet's crew again, and a little bit of Omashu City there. Don't know if we had gotten this one there maybe in the first one. Oh, and I guess all of these are also double-sided. That certainly helps. Okay. I mean, being able to get more tokens there is always good instead of having to be like, oh man, am I going to get that token or whatnot there, and just having the extra ones is nice. But let's see if we can get another new card here. Platypus Bear. Borcupine, Rebellious Captives, Hog Monkey, Compassionate Healer, 1 white for a 2/2 human cleric ally. Whenever this becomes tapped, you gain a life and you scry 1. Seems really good for water bending. I mean, it's a waterbender, but also good for crew or mount or whatever the Station, that's what it was. Rowdy Snowballers, Callous Inspector, Heartless Act, poor Appa. We don't like when Appa gets hurt. Katara Bending Prodigy. The Cave of Two Lovers there, which I remember thinking, oh, you know, I got 2 different versions of that. No, but it was the creation of Omashu. Bitter Work. 1 a green and a red for an enchantment. Whenever you attack a player with 1 or more creatures of power 4 or greater, you draw a card. Not too bad. And exhaust 4, you earthbend 4 only during your turn. You can only do that once for each of them there. And another Zuko Conflicted. So I feel conflicted because you know, it's one that I don't really care for. We've already gotten a few of them there, so, you know, not looking to have another one here. Black and red, 2/3, Legendary Human Rogue, beginning of your reverse main phase. You choose one that hasn't been chosen and you lose 2 life. Draw a card, put a +1/+1 on him, add a red mana, or exile him and then return him to the battlefield under an opponent's control. Okay, and our foil is going to be a lot of Osaka Lateral Strategist, and a North Pole Gates, and an ally here with a clue on the back. So, I mean, we're getting a few of the sack and draw lands. There, we've gotten 3 different ones. I don't know how many there are in total. Okay, we've got a card here to act as a double-sided card for us, just in case we need it there. Cunning Maneuver, Wall-top sentries, Fire Nation Raider. This attacks if you attack this, when this enters, if you attack this turn, you create a clue, okay? Rocky Rebuke, I think that's a decent one there. Azula Always Lies, Kyoshi Warriors, Waterbending Lesson, Zuko's Conviction, Dragonfly Swarm, 1, a blue and a red for a star 3 dragon insect with flying in ward 1. This creature's power and toughness, no, this creature's power is equal to the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard. So, you know, instant, sorcery, enchantment, battle, planeswalker, artifact, as long as they're not a creature. When this dies, if there's a lesson in your graveyard, you draw a card. Okay, not too shabby. I mean, if you've got, blue-red, you're probably doing a lot of spell casting there with instants and sorceries. It could be big flyer with ward. Aang, the Last Airbender, you know, lets you airbend one thing when he ETBs. Cast lesson spells against lifelink. Sokka's Haiku, probably one of my favorite flavor-wise. Counter target spell. Draw a card, then mill 3 cards. Untap target land. It's a haiku in and of itself. And a little bit of Secret Tunnel. Secret Tunnel. Again, can't be blocked, so you want to earthbend this. Can tap for a colorless. And for 4 and tap, you can make 2 creatures you control that share creature type unblockable for this turn. And a little bit of cute little otter penguin. And a swamp full art there. So we already got one of the lands that we could have gotten there, just, you know, not foil. Okay, so far, only our Mythic has been new. So maybe we could get another Mythic then and make that one new. Fire Nation Cadets, Earthbending Lesson, just Earthbends 4, Vindictive Warden, 2 in Hybrid Black-Green, Human Soldier 2/3 menace, Firebending 1, can pay 3 for this to deal 1 damage to each opponent. Forecasting Fortune Teller, Deadly Precision, another Mai, Earth Kingdom Soldier, Giant Koi, Judy, one of many, Jet Freedom Fighter, White Lotus Hideout. Oh, and so we can get our episode cards in these. Unfortunately, this is one that we have already gotten before. It's too bad. You know, technically it is a mythic. I don't know if this technically counts as our rare. I don't think it does. But it's 1 red for a sorcery with replicate red, destroy target artifact. So the amount of red that you put into this, you can destroy more artifacts. Okay, so it doesn't count as the rare. Sandbender, Scavengers, white and a black for a 1/1 human rogue. Whenever you sack another permanent, you put a +1/+1 on this. When this dies, you may exile it. When you do, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to this creature's power from the graveyard to the battlefield. Yep. A little bit of Rocky Rebuke in foil. We like those. A little bit of Airship Engine Room there for our 4th of those lands. Interesting. And we've got that placeholder card for double-siders. This is going very fast since, you know, we've gone through cards before. A little copy from the play. A little bit of Rough Rhino Cavalry, Saber-Tooth Moose Lion, long name there. Abandoned Attachments. It'll quench ya. It's the quenchiest. Swamp Snare Trap. Okay, this one's new. 2 and a black. Enchantment Aura. Costs 1 less to cast if it targets a creature with flying. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -5, -3. Okay? You know, pretty simple there. Water Tribe Captain. Curious Farm Animals. That has all the different types. That is very good for the Diligent Zookeeper or something like that. Knowledge Seeker. The Fox Spirit at Wan Shi Tong's Library. Fire Nation Warship there. That is just a big vehicle. Boomy, King of 3 Trials there, munching on his rock candy. You know, getting another one of him. Team Avatar there. Sorry, Sokka, the Boomerang Squad, and the Fearsome Foursome never caught on. And Elemental Teachings, another one of these. 4 and green, instant lesson. Search your library for up to 4 land cards with different names and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of them. You put the chosen ones into your library and the rest on the battlefield tapped, then you shuffle. Again, very good in decks that can bring lands back very easily. A little bit of Earth Kingdom Soldier and a Serpent's Pass for our 5th one there. Though, again, I don't know if there's only 5 or if there's more. If there's only 5, well, we got all 5 within this box, surprisingly. Okay, up next. I mean, the big thing is, like I said, we weren't really expecting much in terms of value from the packs to pay off for what the thing cost, mostly because it's probably going to be in the collector boost, or it's more likely to be in the collector booster and in the extra cards there that are granted. A little bit of Boomy Bash, a little bit of Turtle Duck, a little bit of Kyoshi Battle Fan, Watery Grasp, Canyon Crawler with really creepy Zhang's Deserters, Sandbender Storm, Heibai, Spirit of Balance, My Jaded Edge. I'm not sure if I've seen this one yet. 1 in a red, 1/3, Legendary Human Noble with Prowess. And Exhaust 3, you put a double strike counter on her. Okay, so if you don't do anything on your turn 3, you could do that. And it doesn't say to only do it as a sorcery, so you can use the Exhaust at any time. I'm pretty sure there. Because all it says is just activate each Exhaust ability only once, but it doesn't say that you can't use it on your turn. So, I mean, nifty little thing there, I guess. A little bit of Grand, getting a few legendaries. Kyoshi Island Plaza. Okay, this is another shrine. 3 and a green for a legendary enchantment shrine. When this ETB, search your library for up to X basic land cards where X is the number of shrines you control. Put those on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. Whenever another shrine you control ETB, search your library for basic land, put on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. Okay, that can potentially ramp you a whole lot there. That's interesting. Avatar Destiny. I don't know if we got this one yet. 2 and double green for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard and is an avatar in addition to its other types. When enchanted creature dies, you mill cards equal to its power. Return this card to its owner's hand and up to 1 creature card mill this way to the battlefield under your control. Okay, so, I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense there. Stronger it is, the more devastating their loss is. So you mill the cards there and put one out onto the battlefield for free, and then you could potentially put this one on it there, and it gets a little bit more powerful. And we're also going to get a little bit of Crashing Wave. I don't think that we've seen this one with the Daily yet. Double blue for its sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, Waterbend X. Tap up to X target creatures, then distribute 3 stun counters among tapped creatures your opponents control. Okay, so it doesn't have to necessarily be so you can tap up to X target creatures. So if you do 0, you can just use this to distribute 3 stun counters. Okay, that's interesting. Again, a lot of proliferation. Being able to proliferate the stun counters is nice. And we get a little bit of foil planes with those upside down monasteries and an ally and a clue looking for the Avatar. Okay, a little bit new there potentially, but nothing guaranteed. Because I don't remember everything that we've gotten. All right, and here's that Boliskic the Boulder. And we're going to get a little bit of Deserter's Disciple, Foggy Swamp Vinebender, Wandering Musicians, which is in the art for the box there, Octopus Form, Merchant of Many Hats, Airbending Lesson with Monkiatsu, Geyser Leaper, Price of Freedom again, Epic Downfall with Azula Beaten, Gather the White Lotus, 4 and a white sorcery, create a 1/1 white ally creature token for each planes you control, and then scry 2. Abandoned Air Temple is our rare. Gotten one of these maybe 2. I know we've gotten at least 1. Enters tapped unless you control a basic land. Tap it for a white mana, and 3 and a white, tap to put a +1/+1 on each creature you control. And we get our double rares here. Raven Eagle. 2 and a black for a 2/3 bird assassin with flying. Whenever this enters or attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. If a creature card is exiled this way, you create a clue token, and whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay, seems like a nice little limited card or sealed card to get there. It only activates once each turn based off of, drawing your second card. A little bit of Watery Grasp, and a Swamp, Ballistic Boulder, and Soldier there. Okay, so we've gone through all of those ones there. Next up, we've got our big boy, the Collector Booster there, seeing if we might be able to get anything special out of this one here. All right, another ally here. So we're starting off with Water Tribe Captain. Already gotten that one here. Corrupt Court Official, and this one as well. Cunning Maneuver, also in this one. Enter the Avatar State. 1 white for an instant lesson. Until end of turn, target creature you control becomes an avatar in addition to its other types and gains Flying, First Strike, Lifelink, and Hexproof. Okay, so little combat trick to give it a whole bunch of extra stuff there. I don't know if the avatar stuff will matter too much. I know that there's some stuff that gives bonuses to avatars. Haru, Hidden Talent there. Whenever another ally ETBs, you Earthbend 1. Seen him. We've pulled him in other things, not earlier this time. Uncle Iroh. 1 hybrid red-green twice for a 4/2 legendary human noble ally with Firebending 1, making lessons cost 1 less. Zuko's Offense there. Dealing 2 damage to any target. Deny entry to a blue instant. Counter target spell. Draw a card, then discard a card. And Zhao, Seething Flame. Just a little menace guy. Forest that we would be getting in here. And those are our main ones there. Off to our rares. First up, an Iroh Tea Master. We've gotten this one before. 1 a red and a white, 2/2 legendary human citizen ally. When it ETBs, you create a food token. Beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target opponent gain control of a permanent you control. When you do, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. Put a +1/+1 on that token for each permanent you own that your opponents control. Okay. Up next, we get a little bit of Lost in Memories again. 1 in red. Enchantment Aura Flash. Enchant creature you control. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Has whenever it deals combat damage to a player. Target instant or sorcery in your graveyard gains flashback until in a turn where flashback is its mana cost. And then we're also going to get another Toph Hard-Headed Teacher. Okay, so it looks like we're just getting a lot of Toph here. So, more Earthbending 1 if you cast a spell. Gets additional ones if it's a lesson there. Our episode card is going to be Imprisoned in the Moon, which I can't remember if we've gotten this one in our other ones. I don't think we have. I think we have. 2 and a blue enchantment aura, enchant creature, land, or planeswalker. Enchanted permanent is a colorless land with tap, add colorless, and loses all other card types and abilities there. So looks like our collector booster isn't doing too well. We did get Zhao the Moonslayer, which was a card that we don't have that I was looking for. Zhao the Moonslayer, 1 and a red for a 2/2 legendary human soldier with menace. Non-basic lands enter tapped. And for 7 mana, you can put a Conqueror token on Zhao. And as long as Zhao has a Conqueror token on him, non-basic lands are mountains. So he becomes a Blood Moon there. Blood Moon on a stick if you've got enough lands. I don't think it's a terribly expensive card, but it is one that we don't have. So I am definitely going to take it for all of this here. A little bit of ally and clue there. So we've done that. Now we're on to the final bit, the extra cards here. So we will take a peek at which ones we get, as well as take a look at these other artworks. So first up is going to be our alternate artwork for Arcane Signet, the good old 2 mana artifact that you can tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity, and it has all of the toys there that Aang was able to pick, that decided that he was going to be the next Avatar there. You chose them from among thousands of toys, Aang. The toys you picked were the 4 Avatar relics. These items belong to avatars past, your own past lives there. Looks like a fire, earth, water, and air type of deals there. But yeah, so it has all of those ones, all the little toys on it there. So, cute little one. We have Soul Ring, this is after the end of the Avatar series where Aang kind of puts on the monk's outfit there. 1 mana artifact for tap to add 2 colorless. Very, very good always, or most of the time. If you're running no colorless mana, then does nothing, but most of the time you are. Road ahead of us is challenging. 100 years of fighting has left the world scarred and divided, but with the Avatar's help, we can get it back on the right path and begin a new era of love and peace there. So really focusing in on the artifact around his neck. And we're also going to get a little bit of Swiftfoot Boots of Book 3 Aang, hightailing it out of somewhere there. You can tell it's him because of his hair that has grown back. Air is the element of freedom. 2 mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste, and equipped 1. As I've said with many of the ones that we get in Secret Lairs, very good one there. Being able to give something hexproof and haste, especially for only 1 mana, is very good there. Lightning Greaves is good in one way, bad in the other. It's good in one way in that it's 0, so that you can put it around however much you want without paying mana, but it gives Shroud instead of hexproof, so you do have to be careful of that. And our first bonus card is Worldly Tutor. Okay, a little bit of Iroh here. 1 green mana for an instant. Search your library for a creature card, reveal it, then shuffle and put that card on top. And our second one is going to be Deadly Rollick. Okay, so we get one of the free spells as well. Very nice, very nice. This one has Azula on it. 3 and a black for an instant. If you control a commander, you may cast a spell without paying its mana cost, and you can exile target creature. Yep, that is going to be a good one there. So nice artworks. I appreciate the little stuff that they have here, where I think that this is, it's not bound by any one thing there. This is air, that's air. You've got Fire Nation there and Fire Nation on this one as well. Overall, I'm not sure if it really paid for itself, but, I do like getting these bundles because, I like having these boxes to be able to put decks in. So, I could put maybe some Avatar-themed ones in here, like some firebending ones or ones that are based around Aang, earthbending, and it kind of is thematic there. But other than that, it's kind of indeterminate whether, you'll see. My guess is that probably didn't have the value in it. Of course, I think Deadly Rollick is the most expensive card that I got in here to help pay for things, but even with it, I don't think it necessarily helped pay for the box. But, we did get some new cards like Secret of Bloodbending, Zhao, Raven Eagle, potentially Avatar Destiny. A lot of repeats, though, that we've seen, and I think both of these were repeats, but, nice to get some of these Commander Classics in here. The only thing that I think maybe they should have included in this as well, since they were given away as a Commander bundle, would have been a Command Tower as well. That's probably the only thing that I would have said about it. I mean, it's a bundle that has a collector booster in it. Only thing that I could say to differentiate it or add in would just be a Command Tower. So, that's going to do it. I'm glad that they had some of these extra cards that are, nice to put in all of them there, or, just good tutors or the free spells there. So thanks for joining me on this little journey of ours through some more of Avatar. Not sure when I will be doing any more, since I will have to wait before I can get any play boosters of this. But I look forward to having you come back for another diary entry here. Please take care of yourself in the meantime. Have a good evening, afternoon, or night. I'll see you next time.